on.
Yeah, so coming back to the subject, and the idea is when you get into this crazy relationship, it has a lot of influence and a lot of effect, on your daily, basically, habits. And so it's not like when you have a faulty phone that you can replace, you're in, you're really in.
Shouldn't be disposable.
Shouldn't be disposable,
Shouldn't be
yeah.
disposable.
Yeah.
Now, luckily over here, we still have not gotten to that point yet. But you look at certain countries, for example, where it's very common to have gotten married 3, 4, 5 times.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, wow, I haven't had that many relationships.
How does that work, man? It's crazy.
I don't know. Like, I think if I got married once, and there was a party,
yeah,
people saw me get married, and then that falls apart. I don't know how I'd ever throw another wedding party. Isn't that awkward, just inviting the same people who witnessed your failure?
Yeah.
They were there the first time.
Ever heard about that story? The monkeys and what is it called? The rope, I think.
The experiment?
Yeah, the experiment, yes. It has a lot of meaning, let's say, a lot of lessons when it comes to religion, but we can also, make it applicable here. So the idea is we do things that we're not really sure of, whether because they're traditions. And you're not allowed to question traditions.
Oh, God forbid you question anything.
Yeah, but I've seen some sane people, some people like who have brains, that think that,
they
what?
Exist?
Oh, they do, but they're very hard to find, just like Pokemons. So, I've seen some people that really value the amounts that you're actually accumulating across the years. And instead of having a really great experience, you're going to throw it out on a bunch of people you don't know.
Yeah.
And you have to just, I tell this story to a lot of my friends. When you do this sort of party and you're brought up, out there and the party, it's like you're a horse, like, let me just take a picture with that. Let me take a picture of that. And then you leave, like, please go. The horse is done. And, you're not allowed to actually talk about all of these things because you're going to lose a lot of people here.
Oh, yeah.
But the reality is we have to evaluate what we're doing. So, science is making an evolution. Science is, evolving. How about ourselves, our traditions? We also have to give them another round of check.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, and that's the problem when you, the problem with censorship.
Yeah.
And I don't care who's the one imposing censorship, whether it's the system, the corporation, or your family, or your parents, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's any kind of censorship, as in we don't talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, clearly we're not talking about it because there's a problem.
Yes.
But if we don't talk about it, how are we ever going to resolve the
We're
problem?
not going to resolve it.
We have to talk about it, whatever it is. We have so many topics over here we can talk about. A lot of it worldwide, a lot of it in this region, for example. You got issues like mental health.
Yes.
You realize worldwide, and especially in this region.
I was talking about that actually yesterday with my wife because we're exposed to people who have severe depression cases.
And it's okay to be depressed.
Yeah, just like when you go to your regular doctor, you can also have mental issues that you need, help with.
Yeah, can I get coffee, please?
Yeah, sure.
I often talk to people.
Yeah, just tell me to stop, huh?
Go on. We're good. Thank you, sir.
No worries.
I often talk about this, to friends or family. Why is it that when my tooth hurts, I go to the dentist? When my stomach hurts, I go to the doctor. When when I'm having skin issues, I'll go to the dermatologist.
Exactly.
But God forbid, if I can't sleep at night, or I'm nervous, or I'm having panic attacks or anxiety attacks, deal with it.
Exactly.
What do you mean deal with it?
What is deal?
Why don't you tell me to deal with it when my tooth hurts? Why don't you tell me to deal with it when I have cancer?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me to deal with it when I have gonorrhea, right? No, you go get it tested. You go get it checked.
Yeah.
You don't just deal with it. It's so dismissive. It's so stupid.
So stupid.
It's so stupid, and it's
so
dangerous.
Crazy.
It's very, very dangerous. And it is okay to be depressed. But it's not okay not to get treated.
Yes.
That's the problem. The problem is not depression. The problem is not getting, not seeking the proper
medical attention.
For it.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have so many people here suffering from trauma,
Yeah,
PTSD, depression,
Oh,
anxiety,
the list
panic
is really
attacks.
long.
You have to go get it checked. You realize if your tooth hurts and you don't get it checked, if you have any kind of cavity, it might actually just move to the other, neighboring.
It's going to spread
teeth.
eventually. Yeah.
Exactly, it's going to spread. It's going to make things worse if you don't take care of it. It might be a 5-minute procedure in the beginning, but if you don't take care of it, not only it'll be God knows how long of a procedure, and it's going to cost you way more than it could have cost. It would have cost you.
Not even in terms of cash. We're talking about other stuff like
Yes.
relationships. So yeah, I do agree big time. So I think one of the issues here is that in the Middle East, especially maybe let me talk about Bahrain, for example, here. The taboo is if you have any mental issues, you're basically a maniac.
A maniac.
And
Yes.
in Bahrain terms, Maynoon, basically.
Yes.
That means that you're... yeah, I mean, there's no... So it's not really a medical, let's say, situation. It's more of an attitude issue or something like that. So you got to resolve it on your own.
Yeah.
But just like you said, like when you look into science, some of those things can be explained when you have a chemical imbalance, for example, that
they all
leads
can
into...
be explained. Yes.
Yes. So it's something that we look back at our traditions and really question all of those, that span marriage, medical health, and all these things. Because if you can't spark the conversation, and I think one of the things that you just said and that I really, loved, ever heard about Dr. Jordan Peterson or Professor?
Oh, yes. I love the guy.
One of my favorites.
I love the guy.
One of my favorites.
There might be a few things I disagree,
Definitely.
but that's natural, that's healthy, that's
But he's
normal.
authentic, he
He's
has his own
authentic.
thoughts. He's not a puppy for somebody else.
No.
And he has this, I remember, an interview that really struck me big time. The whole deal with the pronouns and everything else, huh?
God,
Hey, don't get me
yes.
started.
Let's not go there yet.
Let's not go there yet.
That requires
Yeah.
special podcast.
Exactly. But one of the things that he said during that interview, he said to the other, person in that interview that when you control language, you control thought.
Yes.
And that is really true because if we can't discuss things, you're basically shaping how people, their mentality.
Yes.
So you can't just say, don't talk about that, don't say that word, and put it to the challenge. Like, really show me why it is so bad to not use that certain tool in that context.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with the whole concept of if you control language, you control thought.
Yeah.
I was never qualified to teach English language, but I did teach English language for 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And to me, your choice, the choice of words, we have are very important in delivering the message or the power of the message we're delivering.
Yeah.
You realize, for example, if you talk to a lot of people from the new from our generation and onward, we use certain words very lightly. This might sound very silly, but if you really think about it psychologically, it's not as silly as it sounds. We take many words very lightly. For example, best. How many times do you hear the same person call a million different things? That's the best thing ever. Right? That psychologically, first of all, you are not valuing the word best.
Exactly.
Okay? In English language, best means one thing.
Top. Yeah.
Top.
Yeah, like
top,
really on the top.
I'm not saying one of the best. I'm saying best. Or if I say worst, okay, that's the worst. I can't say, oh my God, this is like the best coffee I've ever had. Okay.
Then you have an issue with your scale.
Exactly. And if this is really the best coffee you've ever had, then if I drink that coffee, that shouldn't be the best coffee I've ever had. Okay.
Yeah.
So, or how often we hear someone talking, just your daily Karen talking and just saying, oh my God, this is the best day ever.
Yeah. You don't value words.
Yeah, I hear you say that twice a day about different events, different days. First of all, you're not valuing your own words.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge the strength or the power your words have and should have. And then when you say something like that, you're gonna lose your credibility.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your credibility because if I want your opinion, I'm not gonna ask you. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because I don't trust your judgment.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at every ugly kid and then you're like, oh my God, the cutest baby ever.
That's actually an episode of Seinfeld. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
I love Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Which one are you talking about?
So there was this episode where Elaine and Jerry and the other people were visiting a friend, I think. Somebody who birth somebody else. Oh, and
The ugly baby. The
yeah.
ugly. Oh my
So
god.
that man actually,
Kramer.
no, not Kramer. The other guy named the kid Spectacular or something like that. He gave it a very funky name, and so, but he said that after meeting Elaine, so he gave that adjective to Elaine first. So she got really crazy. She got, oh my god, I'm
Oh,
that, I'm so hot and everything. And then he used the same word with that ugly
baby.
kid.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, okay. So,
Oh, that's
so
how
he
you
used
do your judgment.
yeah. So yeah, as you said, I mean, if we don't value words, we won't be able to express really well, and we're gonna lose our authenticity basically
Exactly.
during the
Exactly.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Credibility is a really good segue to the topic of blockchain
Yes.
and money.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are now getting to this crypto scene. I think you yourself have a lot of experience.
I don't have experience. I have stories. I don't have
Okay.
any knowledge, any experience. I see people around me doing it, including you. I always, by the way, I think in my circle of friends, and my circle of friends that, or my circle of people that I personally know, I think you are the most educated and knowledgeable when it comes to blockchain and cryptos and all that. So I've had a lot of people telling me, bring this person, bring that person to, to the show to talk about cryptos. I'm like, if I want to talk about cryptos, I would bring, I know who to bring.
I'm humble,
Because
thanks.
I know successful traders,
Yeah.
when it comes to cryptos and all that, but they're just traders. They're just making money off of it.
Yeah.
You are not. I've never heard you talk about trading cryptos, and that's why when
Yeah.
it comes to taking information about cryptos or blockchain or anything of that sort, I know who to ask.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard you say, "Oh, you can make money here. Oh, this
Yeah.
is a great opportunity." Oh, this, no, you've always been scientific about it.
Exactly.
So, but I have a lot of people. I have many good friends that are making real good money with cryptos.
Yeah.
Real good money. But at the end of the day, if you ask them, well, why is this why is this coin going up? Why is this coin going down? There's no solid answer.
Yeah, I mean, we had these conversations multiple times in the car, remember?
Sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
Our donuts are here yet? Is your phone on silent?
I think they canceled the order.
They canceled?
They can't get it here.
Go back. Okay.
It's an exception today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your coffee is sponsored by Starbucks.
Okay. Yeah, but coming in back to the subject, you do know this. We had multiple conversations in the car. And I think there was a time, where I stopped just thinking about the tech, even though I like to call myself a tech freak, I enjoy being in that space. But after a while, you begin to really question you being in that space. Are you working for somebody else? Are you bringing value to somebody else? Or are you bringing value to your fellow humans? And I think one of the really great things about this crypto scene, the blockchain scene, specifically decentralization in general, is that you're bringing power back to the people. And I think, you being in that machinery, in that cog, that machinery, you lose focus on what really matters to you. So I've worked in banking for quite some time,
Yes.
and I do know what control means. I do know how control looks like. And so with the idea of crypto, like no matter what you heard about crypto, the good and bad things about it, but the technology itself really solidifies the idea of decentralization. And that means, let's think about it in the eyes of Bitcoin, which is the easiest to convey to other people because they're really, they're more knowledgeable in that space. So with the idea with Bitcoin is that it got out around 2008 after the whole financial crisis. And the financial crisis showed us one thing, that you don't really own your money.
Oh no.
After all,
You don't own anything.
you have, Uncle Sam that can just
Uncle
say,
Sam's taking care of everything.
yeah, he's taking care of everything.
Big Daddy.
He can just say, you know what, I'm going to devalue the currency. I'm going to add, more funds into circulation. And the hard-earned money that you work, for across the years is going to lose its value, and you don't have a say in the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2008, those greedy banks, Lehman Brothers and such, and
those guys disappeared, right?
yeah, these guys, and the U.S. government had to go and waive whatever that they've done in terms of atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is they were too big to fail. And when you have too big to fail, those entities that are too big to fail, you have a severe screw up in the system. And so with blockchain or Bitcoin, essentially you're bringing the power to people, so you control your money. If you want to transact with other people, you don't have to go through a centralized authority. You can just go directly to your other peer and send the money. I mean, think about all the businesses that we interact with here,
Yes.
not only in Bahrain, the world.
Hmm.
When you want to send money to somebody else, what would they take a huge cut out of your money? You know, if you don't have a choice, this is where the issue is. If you had a choice to go with an institution, then that's completely fair. You know, I want to go with their services, I'm going to pay them for their hard-earned work, you know. But some institutions are established with the mentality that you can't go somewhere else. You have to go through that system. And so you don't have a choice. Now, what would I pay? And there's a huge spectrum, you know, of atrocities in this space, in the financial space. Some people take 30% out of your cash, you know, especially the business of remittance, for example. And yeah, so Bitcoin takes that back, and maybe the execution is not the best so far, but it's a great testament to how you can create a decentralized financial system. You know, this needs a reboot, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, by the way, Travis, don't be jealous. I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Travis. He's from Iowa.
Okay.
And actually, anything that I know, anything that I've learned about cryptos, he taught me. Okay.
Awesome.
He's very knowledgeable as well. So when I was making the comment earlier about all these people talking about cryptos, I meant everyone here.
Yeah.
Because you realize how over here in Bahrain now everyone is just following the hype, like, oh my
On the
god,
bandwagon.
yes, yes. We depend on the ads we get on YouTube.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If the ads on YouTube are saying we should invest in Amazon, whoop, everyone's in the stock market. If so now Travis is a good friend of mine. He taught me a lot about cryptos, and he's hardcore into cryptos. And the guy knows what he's doing. The guy really knows what he's doing. And so and I actually have mentioned your name to him multiple times. And like when I talk to him, I always tell him I have this buddy of mine in Bahrain that he really knows what he's talking about. If you guys ever talk together and chit chat about cryptos and blockchain, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. Maybe you ought to come another day and we're gonna have him on here.
I'd love to.
And
I'd love to, man.
yes, you guys can talk while I can
yeah.
just
Yeah,
pretend
there's-
like I'm enjoying the conversation.